Hi everyone, it is Joanna Phillips with Let's Talk About It, and
Tammy Warner.
we have lots to unpack today. It's going to be a long video. Stay with us, a lot of good information. Gonna start with we're both having allergy issues today. So,
Yes.
if we have to wipe
She's
our
got a
nose,
weird eye. I've got a drippy nose.
I got two weird eyes. Allergy medicine's not helping. Had a death in the family. I'm really tired.
Kleenex
And
on standby.
and here we are. So here we go. Let's get it started. So this is in regards to there's some other stuff, but this is in regards to the town board meeting tomorrow night. I will post a link, and I should make a note to do this. Link the live stream and link where you can get the agenda docs. So, and here's the thing. You can send an email to the town clerk to get on the email list, and all that stuff will be automatically sent to you. Of course, on a Friday night, 8,000 pages before a board meeting on Tuesday, but that's another story. So, a couple of things that we need to go over first. Please like, share, and follow our
Yes.
podcast.
Please, please, please.
Our feedback has been incredible.
Yes, and we are so happy about that. Couldn't be happier about that. Thank you very much. So it's we don't want it to be a one-sided thing. We want everybody to have
And
input.
but here's the thing, and this is pinned in our at the head of our Facebook page. We've got to stop with the name calling. I
Yeah.
don't want to be the person that's going to delete posts, but it is a privately moderated page, and we don't want to do the name calling.
We don't. We agreed, and that's the way it is. We're holding back, so y'all have to hold back. And if you can't hold back, then I'm gonna let loose. And if I let loose, it goes in every direction.
Yeah, we don't want that. We just want Tammy to be pretty calm, Tammy.
We want this solely to be about facts, information, community, no name calling. We all know what certain people think of other people and whatnot. That's no secret. So there's no reason to put it out there. We
Well,
want
see, and
your
the other thing,
information. We
right,
value
and
it.
you could have an amazing post, and then there's that one sentence in there, and I don't want to do that. I don't want
No,
to be the ogre, but
exactly.
it's
Exactly.
important. We're not solving anything.
No,
I
no.
could go on a complete tirade, but I'm not going to.
And we
Not
want to
about you
hear from you.
guys,
We
just
do.
about just whatever. But
If
so
we can pull back any kind of insults, then
so
you can
you.
pull back
It's
insults.
exactly. So I don't know if I mentioned this, but I think I did. I had put in a letter of interest for the Outreach, Marketing, and Communication Committee. It used to be just Outreach and Marketing. They added the communication part to it, where they want that committee to monthly, quarterly have public input sessions, questions and answers. So I did put in a letter of interest, and Darla did as well. Um, Ramona Griffin did as well. There's a part of this story that I will not tell you until after the board meeting, but I'm just going to give you a rundown on what happened. Um, all right. And again, I have to make notes, otherwise, I forget what the hell I'm trying to say. So I applied for the town's Outreach, Marketing, Communications Committee. Before the interview, I spent some time looking at the town's communication tools, the website, the newsletter, the business directory, the events calendar, etc., just to understand how residents actually get information from the town. So, there was some things like the business directory, there's businesses that aren't here anymore, there's businesses that are here that aren't
Weren't
on
listed.
there. There's information that's incorrect, websites, address, etc. So when I went into the interview, I had a whole laundry list of questions, very non-nefarious and very business and marketing
I was going to say in line with
oriented,
what they were. Yeah.
probably more so than the communication part of it. So I asked some pretty straightforward questions. I asked what the goals of the committee were, whether those goals, like if they had an outline, was it documented, like what is the actual goal? What authority the committee would actually have to implement improvements, and what the town's strategy is for encouraging new businesses. Asked about the communication systems, things like how is the website maintained, how accurate the business directory is kept and how the town measures whether marketing efforts like brochures, et cetera, are actually effective. Like, what metrics are we using to gauge our outreach and our marketing? So the conversation went along like that for a while. And then, because I had a ton of questions. So when I got done asking the questions, I said, do you guys have any questions for me? And the communications part of it, I thought, okay, I'll get to that. Scroll. Um, One of the board members, and again, this committee is being chosen by the current board, was if I could be unbiased with this committee. And it actually didn't even dawn on me until yesterday because I'm thinking, what is there to be biased about as far as outreach
Right.
and marketing? It dawned on me they meant the communication part of it, right? And I said, yeah. I also mentioned that I am admin on Talk of the Town. Talk of the Town has 100 and what, 28,000 viewers. Same thing that, and obviously we do the podcast, which we're up to
Hmm.
almost 18,000 viewers. So we have a voice.
Right.
Um, so then another board member asked me, actually, the comment was, if you were on the committee, you would be representing the town and not able to trash the town. So let's just pretend this person is sitting over here. I just was like, I'm pretty sure this is what my face looked like. And I turned this,
Insinuating we're trashing the town.
so I turned my head and I said, is that what you think that we're doing with trashing the town? A couple people,
Informing the town of the things that you are not. That's what we're doing. There's nothing we're saying. We're not walking around going, Lebanon is a piece of crap and this and that. Nobody said that,
I
not
was
once.
actually offended by that.
Yeah, I'm offended.
Honestly, it caught me off guard.
It's twisting it. It's twisting the whole narrative and trying to push away from that it's them that we are spotlighting what they're doing. It has nothing, it's not the town. That's like saying we're walking around bullying a town. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with informing our community and giving them the information that we're not getting.
Or you're not able to find,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
really good at
And if
research.
that is considered trashing the town, then some people need to sit back and take a long look and think about that. And think about that. Facts and information is trashing the town.
So apparently
Stop it.
and we said this before that, you know, anybody can take anything that we're saying and twist that narrative. But the fact that they see critiquing decisions is trashing the community.
And
So
here we go.
from my perspective, our podcast is discussing public information and asking questions about how things work in town. That's not trashing the town. That's participating in civic life. We've always believed that residents should ask questions about how their local government works. I mean, and let's be honest. In fact, questions I have raised has ended up leading to our much needed audit that's currently
Exactly.
underway.
Exactly.
So I told them that I was sorry that they felt that way, but that what I'm doing is discussing facts. And I also said that I'm not going to stop the podcast.
No. And here's the thing, if they feel that we're being biased in any way, or if there's another side to what we're saying, here's an open invitation right now. We invite anyone to come and sit down with us and tell us where it's wrong. Tell us the other side of it. Go right. We welcome it. Come on. If you think that's the way we're being, then please, please, no harshness, nothing. I
Like
mean,
just a real
give us your
conversation.
side. Tell us the other side. If there's another side, let us know. That's an
Right.
open invitation.
And I have that here. Anyone that's willing to join us in the podcast, let us know your thoughts on anything said is not based on fact. And if I don't know something to be a fact, I will say, well, I could be making this up, but I'm pretty sure. So
Yep.
in the end, I mean, let's be honest.
And trust, if there's one thing that happens, if we're unsure about some things, there's a dig method going on to find out, okay, was that said? Is that what I said? Is that what they said? There's no just going, well, that's what happened and that's what's that. No, Joanna's even checked us to make sure we were, correct in what
And
we had said. And I
I
keeping
have
it this
something,
simple.
I have something later in the podcast that I actually have to correct. So in
Okay.
the end, I don't think they're going to appoint me, which is, of course, is their decision to make. But I
Here's the
believe,
opportunity to bridge that divide that they said they're doing now. So let's see how this turns out.
but I do think it raises an interesting question about how local government views criticism or questions, because asking questions about systems, communication, and strategy should be how communities improve. Um, to me, to us, caring about our town means asking questions and paying attention to how things are run. That's what we're going to keep doing.
Yep. It's not
So
going to stop. But thank you for watching.
Yeah. And for the record, I still think these conversations are worth having. Now,
Absolutely.
I will tell you, I do hope that they choose Darla, because that would be the perfect opportunity to show that we're indeed trying to bridge the divide.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, everyone that I'm 99.9% positive, everyone that applied, put in the letter of interest, is either an independent or a Democrat, except for Ramona, used to be a Democrat. She switched her party, I think. I'm not positive. You have Darla, that's a Republican, and me, that's a Democrat. So I will be very curious to see how this shakes out for sure. But I literally was like trashing the town.
I know. That's it's a very
It was very disheartening to hear those particular
yeah,
words.
because that couldn't be farther from the truth. And if that's what they're sitting around and discussing, well, then you're not paying attention.
Or
Or
if you are, hey, thanks for watching the podcast.
yeah, exactly. Thanks for watching, but we're not trashing the town. I don't think that anybody could say that's watched what we've had to say is us trashing the town. We are simply putting out information that Joanna has spent so much time from last summer um, going through, and we're just putting it out there because, truthfully, and I'm going to first. This is crap that I didn't know either. There were so many surprises to me, and I thought I knew, and you know what? Everybody needs to know. And again, this is not a left and a right thing.
It's a
Zero to do
right and
with
a
that.
wrong thing.
Exactly. It's a right and wrong. Period.
When I got home that night, like I was genuinely upset about that, because that's not the point of what's happening here.
Yep.
And I had to call a couple people that I know that would be truthful with me, and harshly truthful with me, to say, I need your opinion. Do you think that we're trashing the town? We're not even trashing people. We're
No,
trashing if we're
that's
trashing
so
anything, it's decisions.
that's funny because I was thinking the same thing. We're not. Yeah, I mean, you have no clue. No clue. I mean, if we really wanted to trash, button up, buckle up, because you would be blown right out of the water if we really wanted to trash. We're not trashing anybody. We're
Or
not even giving names. We're not calling anyone names. We're not being rude. We're not being disrespectful. We're being
no,
honest. And if
right.
you have a problem with honesty, that is your problem.
It's
And
on
maybe you
you.
need to do some evaluating.
So I called a few people, because I was like literally genuinely sad. And they're like, "What are you talking about? You're just putting facts out, Joanna."
See,
And
she
I'm
gets
like,
mad or sad. I get freaking angry.
she was mad. I
In
was
my
just like,
head,
I
I
was
go right to that
devastated.
scene from Mommy Dearest, with the Pepsi company. Don't fuck with me, fellas.
I just, so that's that. So they're going to make the appointments tomorrow night at the board meeting. I will be very curious to see that
Mhm.
how that shakes
If
out.
we are actually truly trying to bridge the divide.
Yeah. So, I mean, so here we are, and I'm not trashing the process. I mean, it was what it was. Um, and like I said, I was just really sad about that. So that's neither here nor there.
Again, thank you everyone who watches. Even if you
Well, and you
watch
know
out of
what?
spite or anger, thanks for watching because at least maybe you're taking 5 seconds and hearing something.
Yeah. So that was that. We'll know tomorrow. It's unfortunate. I was kind of hoping that they would send out emails, show, those who didn't get chosen, whatever. So there's that. Big kudos to the town clerk. She is all caught up on her
Yes,
minutes.
yes, yes.
Good job. And I will use her name, Marcy. Good
And she
job.
did that with everything else that's going on right now, too. So thank you. Thank
Awesome.
you.
She is all caught up. Okay. So here we go. Did you do your damn survey? Did you do your survey? I did mine. Did you do yours, Tammy?
I did. I did.
Okay.
Took.
I, I
I actually did it in the process, but I did.
and I'm gonna say this again. So it's been extended to March 20th. And I'm gonna be a little crass here for a minute. Um, are you okay with 150 people making the decisions for the comprehensive plan? If we want to be heard, you need to fill out the survey.
And you don't know who those 150 people are.
I have a pretty good guess of who they
I'm
are.
sure we all have a guess, but we all need to understand that the one thing that I don't feel gets heard enough, and I know this is something we've gone back and forth about, is local. I don't think we've heard enough in a lot of important things from the folks who have been here for a
Their whole
very, very
life.
long time.
Right. So
We
here's
need
what I'm
you. We need you.
right. We need you. And I guess the only way to put it is if you're okay not having your voice heard, then when the time comes, don't bitch.
Yep.
The only way we can make a difference is if we get involved. And it's something as simple as the survey. If there's questions that you don't want to answer, don't answer them.
Leave it blank.
Right. A little hard on the online one, on some of the things. I
Then
think
A.
you
Can you
can
do
because
that?
like on the online, there's like one where you got to pick
Oh yeah,
three.
that's right. That's right.
But if you click other, you can put in
Yep.
comments. I did
Oh,
do
that's
that.
true.
And
That.
anybody that got my survey, trust me, they know it's mine. For sure, they know it's mine. Um, so please, I can't, and please just spread the word. Again, don't make me knock on your damn door because I have your address. Just do it, and please just spread the word. Get your friends to do it. It matters. I know you don't think it doesn't, but it does. Again, the last 2018 and 2021, the max, I don't even think they reached 200. It's
No.
time to step up, guys. Let's do it.
Yep. Yep.
All right, so that's my spiel on the survey. Just do it. All right, now on to the agenda. And like I said, we'll put up a link for the live stream tomorrow night. It starts at 6:30. Um, and hopefully I can put up a link to find where the agenda is. But again, you can email, and I'll put the email in for the town clerk so you can get on the mailing
Right.
list if you're not. Mercy. Okay. There's a lot to unpack here. Old business update on the walkable downtown project.
The very touchy subject.
Very touchy subject, but I think there's some misinformation. So I posted this yesterday. Of course, it's backwards, or yesterday or the day before. I don't know. My days are running together. Sometime over the last
It
3 days,
It was yesterday. I think it
I
was.
put this up because this is in the agenda doc, and it tells. This is for the. It's a little confusing. So I don't want to say that this is fact, but I'm assuming tap application project, full project from the library to the school on the north side. See, I only thought that we were doing the sidewalk on one side of the road. I don't know. So I believe that the additional project, which would be, I think, from this, I don't even know that, from the park to, I'm not sure where. This new tap app is specifically for concrete from the park to wherever. I do not believe, but we'll know more tomorrow night, that does not include the current project. This is an add-on, so it will be considered a new project.
Okay.
It's also important to know that it might not go through. So this is not set in stone. But I did read, I learned last night that I need to start reading the committee reports. So there is a walkable downtown, um, I guess they're minutes. Yes, from the meeting from 224. Uh, and I'm just going to hit the highlights here. As discussed in the previous committee on January 27th, the committee recommended the town board not to proceed with the TAP app. Since the town board meeting, the TAP team at New York's DOT provided additional information which makes the application a more attractive option. You can apply for a new project in the full amount for the full desired length of the project. Oh, okay, that's confusing. So it would be the original plus the extension. The current project would continue design activities up until a decision is made on the second tab. If successful, the current project would be closed out and efforts would continue under a new project number with appropriated funding. So this is where it gets a little sticky, right? Because that referendum was based on that first grant. And we voted on that first grant, and now reading this says that that first grant could go away and there could be, I thought this was just the add-on, but that's not what this is reading.
Is it reading that that's going to change? So instead of it's going to be that one instead? Okay.
I'll read it. The town can apply for a new project in the full amount for the full desired length of the project, which was the original 2023 TAP project plus the extension to the park. So that's telling me that this new TAP is actually going to be for all of it. The current project will continue design activities up until a decision is made on the 2025 app application. If successful, the current project will be closed out and efforts would continue under a new project number with appropriate funding.
So will they
So
be
basically,
ending
if
that,
they accept this,
redoing it with both of the things included?
right. So the thing that we voted on would no longer be, that's
It's
hard.
gone bye-bye. Well, that's taking away our vote.
I did not read this before this meeting, just for the record, obviously.
I just know that's going to
Not go
set
over well.
off a storm. Set off a storm. Hmm. So
I got nothing. I got nothing.
well, I can't even either. Look, we don't have anything right now.
Welcome to real-time comments because I did not read this. I just printed this out before this. Oh my God.
Well, they're going to be discussing this tomorrow. So now
Yeah,
would be
we'll
a good
recap.
time, folks, to get privilege of the floor in with questions. I'm not saying they're going to answer them, but if this is a topic they're going to discuss, at least put your question in their ear.
I'm gonna copy and paste this and put this on our page so y'all can read that because
Really, people. I mean, we've talked about privilege of the floor, and there really isn't that many. Really, we've seen everything you all, the questions and the whatnot that you all have. Put it in their ear, even if they're not answering. Do a privilege of the floor and get your voice heard and your question and your remark, whatever. Get it out there.
I have no words for that.
Nope, that's all I've got for that, really.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see what's said. Last week we talked about the feasibility study. Again, had I paid attention to the committee reports, I would understand more, but here's an update on that. This is from, I think, the CAC or the business committee. I think it's the CAC. We do not, this is about the feasibility study. We don't have the draft yet for many reasons, including several changes that the engineer needed to make, as well as some unanswered questions about the opt-in aspect that the town bond attorney disagrees with. We have previously reported last year's household characteristics surveys, our financial survey looking at the business district residential income did not allow us to qualify in 25 for some grants for the system, which I did say that, which means we're looking at low interest loans, which that's a nightmare. As also reported to the town board and residents, we know from test results we shared in the last town newsletter and committee report that there are bacterial water quality issues on the business corridor. That is true, but the majority of those businesses, just for the record, have filtration systems now. It's in the details, people. We also know that many residents do not drink their water due to county Department of Health recommending that they do not do so. New businesses are very limited due to a lack of municipal water and wastewater infrastructure. And some existing businesses are paying exorbitant septic pumping fees. With the help of the New York State Department of Health, as stated above, which that's another part, they had someone come in at the last meeting. I did watch that. Having a septic study will be very useful for this effort. This feasibility study is a huge effort and a work in progress, and we hope to have more reports soon. So that's the update on the feasibility study. Where is my agenda? Okay, so we talked about the walkable downtown, and we're like, oh my God, we'll talk about that on Thursday. Update on the highway fire and any town board action needed. Not sure what's going on about with that, so we'll know tomorrow. The EV charging station agreement, this has to do with the EV charging station agreement that is down by the library.
Mhm.
Farmers Market is going to take that over. Outreach and Marketing and Communications Committee, already talked about that. Update on the new playground in Stafford Park. No clue what's going to be said about that. Reappointments, Deputy Supervisor, PB member. What's PB?
That's funny
PB.
because I was wondering what.
Planning Board. Alternate Planning Board member in OFA represent OFA Office for the Aging, which would be the seniors. CEC letters of interest received. That's for the what is the CEC? Something conservation. New business policy review. Okay, hold up though. So one thing that we did not talk about here. Let's just get this out of the way. 19 pages of financial reports, which is good. We're getting there. We're getting there. So it looks like, based on this, and most people don't even get past the first page. It looks like we have that much money in the bank, which we
Yeah.
do. We do have one at the end of February, $1,804,034.63. Now we're going to get to how much of that is actually usable. So we have that money in the bank, but that's not all usable money. As a matter of fact, pretty much none of that money is usable. So there's assets, liabilities, bills that have been paid, budgeted amounts versus actual. I did find something else, which we won't talk about today because it has nothing to do with us, but I need to make a note. Highway, highway, the reserves. One of the things that we still don't have, again, we're getting better, is all of the grant stuff. There should be reports for each grant as well. With a heading of what it's for, how much the grant was, what's the taxpayer's part, what are we waiting on for money, what have we spent out for money. So hopefully that'll happen. So we're going to focus on this last page. And again, Town of New Lebanon Bank reconciliation. And again, it's backwards, but there's all of our balances, right? So for total balances from January 1st until the end of February, 1,758,000 58 wait, 1,758,911.82. So it's listed that now the general fund, which is expendable money, that is available money to
Right.
spend, the balance is $233,000, 233 five two the $233,530.87. Incorrect.
I was just gonna say.
Incorrect. So you have to take out the LVP money that they have in there, LVPA, the firehouse, $160,059. That is the balance that is owed the firehouse. They get paid quarterly. But that is a special fund. It doesn't belong in there and it's not our money. So you have to take out the 160,059. The library, this is where I need to make a correction. In all of my carrying on, the library is not listed as a special fund. It can be in the general fund,
Okay.
which means they're not entitled to interest, but the LVPA is. That so, anyways, but still, that is not our money. So
Right.
170,000 needs to come off of this list. Um, Also in the liabilities, it shows that we owe the comptroller for the courts $6,403. So that has to come off of that money. So if you take away the 160,000, the 170,000, and the 6,400, that leaves available money negative 102,931.13. Another thing interesting on here is the facilities reserve. And I know you can't read it's backwards. It says repay loans, which that $300,000 went into the facilities reserve, which means obviously, we know we're spending reserve and restricted money. The thing with a loan, you can do a loan, but there has to be a resolution or a motion to be able to use those restricted funds. I
Yep.
have not found one, and they usually have to be paid back within the fiscal year. So I don't know when the board approved those funds to be used. So these are the restricted funds. In escrow, 13,500. The landfill, 625,000. The reserves for Shatford Park, 45,500. I still don't know what that's for. Ghost Road Reserve, there's 20,000 in there. Oh, that also has a repay loan. Okay. Highway has 514,981. Equipment reserve is down to 6419. And the reason that is there was a piece of equipment that was bought in December, I believe. And that just hit there. And the facility reserve has 300,000. So, yeah. Although there's 1,000,007 in the bank, available funds are negative 102,931.
There you go.
That's putting it in layman's terms. There's a lot more to this, but that's putting it in layman's terms. So
Or that's apparently trash in the town.
stop it. So this report, everybody go, oh, we got all this money. This report, not so much. And this report is like the liabilities and assets, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm just comparing apples to apples. All right, so back to policy review credit card uses. Every year, any policy that we have every year has to be reviewed for any changes. So these will show up every single year just to make sure everybody's still kosher with it. Resolution concerning rising electric costs. Sharon Wheeler had asked me to talk about this, but also the town is doing a resolution. Um, I'll read the highlights on it because it's long, but it basically this will be sent to New York State Public Services Commission, NYSEG, the Governor of New York, members of the state legislature, and neighboring NYSEG served municipalities, and shall encourage coordinated action among affected towns. So it is talking about the rates, obviously, and that they want it investigated, which is great that our town board is doing that.
Yes. Yes, because
Rick Stahl had posted about when he called NYSEG, why was one of his properties so high and it was listed as commercial, it is not. So Sharon Wheeler, her father-in-law, Ben's husband, good Lord, Ben's dad lives across the street, Russell. So in his rates were different than her rates. So I'm going to read this quick. We recently took a closer look at my father-in-law's electric bill as it took a significant jump We just live across the road from him, so we have the same supply and should be the same rate per kilowatt hour. This is not what we found. Prior to December, there was no difference between the rate charged us and the rate charged him. He has what they call an on-peak, off-peak meter. The kilowatt hours during the day are charged at one rate, and evening hours are charged at a lower rate. His hot water heater is designed to draw less electricity during the day, and this is supposed to save him money and encourage people to use less electricity during the day when most commercial users are at maximum. So when comparing his billed hours, we found that the last bill he was charged 0.23 per kilowatt hours during the day and 0.18 at night. This was a significant cost of an extra $143.71 this last bill for day uses and an increase of 45.55 night usage over what he would have paid if he paid the straight rate of 13 per kilowatt, which total added an extra 189.26 to his bill just for last month. Looking back, the discrepancy started in December. She called NYSEG. Um, his code was 12008, which Sharon and Ben's is 12001. And the representative said that Ben and Sharon are considered residential users and get a residential rate. Russell is considered a residential day-night user and was charged a different rate. He has has a single family home, approximately the same habitable space as ours. So they requested that they pull the on-off peak smart meter and put in a residential one. The on-off peak smart meter was installed because Russell originally had one of the old on-off peak meters. They were told that they'll put in a request to switch this to a residential rate and that the actual smart meter does not need to be pulled. So it's basically whatever code they put in your smart meter. They did not agree to change the rate right then, and we need to wait for a letter to see if they will agree. So they're going to be filing a complaint. I'm sure they already did. Filing a complaint with the Public Service Commission in the New York State Attorney General's office and not letting it go. Sharon wanted us to share this with you as we know that there's others in the area who had the old on-off peak meters. The tech who installed the smart meter and the timer for on-off peak told us there were.
Huh.
So,
Are these all the people that got the new meters this last year? Because
yes,
we had gotten one this
I
past
haven't
year.
had any problem with ours.
Huh. Our
So
electric
you
bill
so you
shot
need to
up, and
call
we
NYSEG.
don't barely. I mean,
Yeah. So the point is call NYSEG and see what they tell you.
I'm gonna do that.
Pretty sure that they gave Rick the runaround. And Sharon, she's a no shit kind of lady, so she's gonna get that taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Committees that are no longer needed. Room enough for both. That is the committee that I was on, the Housing and Conservation. There will be a public meeting next month about this, and I encourage you all to come if you can. Hopefully, it will be live streamed. I did put an offer up that if it was at the community center, not live streamed, but recorded, that if it was at the community center, I would offer to record it and post it without any edits. I think it's important to say without any edits.
Right, right, right. Yep.
Um, so no longer needed. Room enough for both in the historic railroad depot. I don't know what they're doing with that. Fence repair at Shopper Park. Car hit a fence. That's got to be repaired. Resignation. Somebody resigned from the walkable downtown committee, and I would assume they're going out for letters of interest. So summer camp health director trade for camp attendance. Basically, that what that tells me is that the director of the summer camp, the health director of a summer camp, trade for camp attendance means they're not going to pay that person,
They're
but
just
they're
gonna do. And does that mean that person is at the park every day for camp?
well, I don't know. I thought employees, none of them were getting them for free anymore. It was a 10% discount. I mean, I don't know anything about that. I don't even know if that's legal. I'm not saying it's not. But typically, when you get a benefit like that, it's considered money and you get a 1099.
Okay.
I have to wait and listen to that because that doesn't make any sense to me. And I didn't see any backup documentation on that.
Okay.
I find it odd. I'm not trashing anybody. I'm just saying that I find it odd that all of this policy got changed in 24, that no children would go for free, that the it would be a 10% discount. Anyway, I guess we'll find out about that.
Yep.
Highway 284 agreement. Every year Pete has to put into the state what roads he's going to work on, paving wise, and I think most of them right now are in the springs, if memory serves me correctly. Intermunicipal agreement, shared services, that is that we agree to work with other towns, Kane and Chatham, whatever, for the highway. Okay, here's a biggie. This is actually good, in my opinion, if my research is correct. Introductory Local Law A of 2026, Chapter 81, Local Energy Code. The purpose of this local law is to repeal the adoption of a local energy code and to adopt in its place the New York State Energy Conservation Construction Code. Now, let me give you a quick rundown on that. This is long. Let me see if I can cut to the. So a few years ago, the town of Lebanon adopted the New York Stretch Energy Code, which was very strict. It was higher than what the state minimum code was. Voluntary model code developed that the municipalities can to adopt to meet energy efficient standards that go beyond the normal statewide requirements. Basically, it was designed to push new construction and major renovations to a higher level of energy performance than what the state was requiring at a baseline. The local law that is currently being proposed would get rid of that stretch code and adopt the standard New York State Energy Conservation Construction Code. What does that mean? It establishes the minimum energy performance standards for the building statewide. So instead of up here with our energy code, we're coming back down here, which I think that's a good thing.
Yep. Mhm.
The proposed change, Under the proposed change, buildings constructed or substantially renovated in New Lebanon would still be required to comply with the New York State Energy Code. And the energy code includes like insulation levels, window efficiency, heating, cooling system performance, lighting efficiency, and overall building energy. I don't know why everybody's just not using um the blow-in insulation. That's like the foam.
Oh yeah, yep.
I
Hmm.
forgot what that's called. Foam
Oh,
insulation. I think that's
yeah,
what it's
home
called.
installation.
Energy efficiency requirements aren't going to go away, but you still need to meet the statewide standards. So it means the stretch requirements don't apply anymore. Um, Gives you more flexibility on how a project is designed and constructed. You could have a wider range of choices when it comes to materials, window packaging, insulation, mechanical systems, as long as it meets the energy code. And it also gives you the potential effect of cost predictability for construction. At the same time, it's important to understand that energy efficient standards remain in place. The New York Energy Conservation Construction Code still requires buildings to meet modern efficient requirements, but it's still moving away from. In practical terms, the shift means that building a New Lebanon would still be built to meet New York's required energy efficiency standards, but they will no longer have to meet the additional stretch code standards. So that should make some people happy, I hope. Um, and I think that is about it for the agenda. Yes. Get your privilege of the floors in, and if you
I
made
was
it
just
this
gonna say,
long, if you've
do the
made it
survey, do the survey. Please get a privilege of the floor in again, and at least get your questions out before they start discussing things. It puts it in their head.
right, and it gets it out publicly that people may
Mhm.
want to know but haven't
Yep.
asked, et cetera, et cetera. So we will be.
Back Thursday. Yes.
I just have to wait to find out when my aunt's services are, but
Well, we will be back at some
yeah,
point
just
after the
depends
board
on
meeting.
when. But the plan right now is to record Wednesday to go over what was talked about in the board meeting. We want to hear from you. Again, keep it civil,
Please.
and we will see you later in the week.
Yes, enjoy the beautiful weather we're having.
Me in the sweatshirt because it's cold in my house. All right, everybody, have a great day.
Bye.